What's up, guys? It's UberCrit, Connor, and Miguel, and we watched The Dark Tower.
We did. It was so bad it gave us both diarrhea.
Oh, jeez.
No,
it wasn't that bad.
It wasn't even bad.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say it was bad. But starring Idris Elba and Matthew McConaughey. So,
and Allstate.
Oh, and Allstate, yeah. Quicks out there. It was That's the quick out there review.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, getting into details, the movie, the action was okay for what it was.
Yeah.
It's like it was paced okay with action.
Right.
There was a little heavy on like the fake CG bit action.
You know, yeah, that was a little weird.
It was like off-putting.
When it first opened up and like the creatures and shit.
Yeah.
Really strong CG.
Yeah.
Certain parts super weak.
Yeah, there was a little bit of like Matthew McConaughey being like Neo type shit.
Yeah, which that's another thing. I expected the movie to be very like Dark Tower.
Dark Tower, yeah.
And you kind of think that in the beginning as well. And it was more action.
Yeah, it wasn't so much like I would have expected like a sort of ominous like hardcore pace, kind of like Dark Crystal.
Right.
Back in the day, you know?
Yeah, like it like opens with a prophecy and shit, so you're gonna be like, oh, everything's gonna be all cryptic. It's gonna be really dark.
And then it kind of just starts spoon feeding you everything.
Yeah.
Like it went from being like, okay, we're gonna be this somewhat tense thriller-esque mystery to just here's literally everything that's gonna happen, and it's like this is obvious what's happening, and
yet it was also really vague.
Yeah, it was odd. Like
motivations weren't exactly clear.
Yeah, and there was never like an actual hoorah going on.
Right.
So, yeah, I haven't personally read the book, so I went into this somewhat blind, but it doesn't feel like something that would have been read as being great by the way the movie was presented.
Yeah, same here. I've been meaning, because it's hailed as a classic, I've been meaning to at least check out the graphic novel or comic or whatever the fuck it is.
Right. I've heard about it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and it's definitely held with high acclaim. You wouldn't exactly think it was a masterpiece based on that movie.
Yeah.
So if it truly is amazing, the movie probably let it down.
I feel
quite
like
a bit.
I feel like it suffered a little bit of like the Resident Evil treatment, where they kind of let other Hollywood stuff like pollute it. Where, like, okay, let's be honest, Resident Evil was never great in dialogue anyways, but it had, like, you know, intense going on.
Right.
And then, like, even the first movie, there was action, but it was still on edge.
Well,
But then as it got on, it was like, it just started becoming this, like, gun porn action sequence thing.
The thing is, the movie is also just, like, drastically different from the games story-wise.
That's another point I'm going at. Like, if you look at Resident Evil 4, it still has that tenseness. And even Resident Evil 5, even though that's always, like, seen as the action game, it still has, like, its own persona going on. Whereas, like, the movies, you know, you've got Wesker doing all this, like, straight-up out-of-Matrix Neo bending things. Yeah. And that's kind of what it felt like this movie was doing. Like, it let that kind of stuff get into it.
To its merit, those scenes were fucking cool.
Yeah, they were cool. I mean, it wasn't bad. It just didn't feel right. Like, they were cool to see. I mean, there was a little bit of, like, the bad CG going on where you kind of have the ragdoll effect with characters when they were doing, like, flips in the air. Like, that one part where Idris Elba gets, like, hit and he flies up. And it has that, like, kind of wonky-looking, no-gravity set to it type thing.
Yeah, that was earlier on when he gets lifted.
Yeah.
It looked a lot better.
Yeah, it's like it kind of degraded as the film went on. It was the
inconsistency. Some of the CG was really inconsistent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it made the finish of the movie feel not as, like, oomph. And that's the other thing. It ended really abruptly.
Yeah, and like, you know how when the big climax happens in a movie and it shows all the effects of, you know, the bad guy being taken down or whatever happens in the movie. Spoiler free.
Yeah.
And it shows like, oh, this is the thing that was all fucked up, and now it's better and it's grand and shit.
Yeah,
not really like that.
Yeah, there's no hurrah, which maybe that's the case in the book too, but it just didn't. See, I think a problem that came from this is that it's an hour and a half.
It's too short.
Yeah, it's much too short, and we're at the age where, you know, there's like Game of Thrones, there's these big series that have the episodes are an hour long in Game of Thrones, so this is just a half session longer than an episode of Game of Thrones.
Right, it's like a normal season finale of Game of Thrones.
Right.
Which is only good because
it's been building up for, episodes at a time. And I feel like that's kind of, that's been a problem I've seen lately with movies, is they don't pull a story in the movie time frame. They're doing something that seems like they should be going into a series, like they're writing for a series, but then all of a sudden it's finished.
Right. So, and the Dark Tower having a source material that is probably much more extensive than what is shown in the film.
Right.
Definitely doesn't help that. It seemed rushed.
Yeah, because like one of the things is like there's very much a sense that Idris Elba and the kid are supposed to bond, and there's supposed to be meaning behind everything. But really, it's like it goes from them not really knowing anything about each other to they are now like father figure and son in about 15 minutes. It seemed probably 15 minutes on screen time. Like there was just a bonding moment, like one close
moment. I can understand how like it's implied that they've been spending some time together, because there are other scenes where they just don't seem that close.
Yeah.
In between that. So they're getting along like at a normal pace, as if like they're just acquaintances, and then suddenly they're close.
Yeah, it's like I said, the movie's not bad. It's just that it never really rang high. There was a couple cool moments. There were a couple things where it's like you just kind of feel bummed out at certain parts. It was like, damn, this is just a little bit much for a short movie. Like there's some points where it's like you're supposed to have some really like heavy emotions, but then it instantly goes into action within a few more seconds/minutes, and it kind of puts a damper on how you're supposed to feel. You don't really have time to worry about it. Like let's look at Forrest Gump as an example of where like Bubba dies, and then you're sitting there and you're like,
this is supposed to be spoiler free.
Bubba died. Yeah, 20-year spoiler window.
It's not that old.
It's 92. Yeah.
No.
It's not 92, 94. Yeah.
I think it's like early 2000s.
No, it's not at all.
No?
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking of Fight Club.
Yeah, Fight Club was 98, 99. But
something like that, yeah.
Either way, they give you them, it's like Bubba dies, and then they relish in it, and then, then there's the, Forrest's like, that's all I got to say about that. And then the lady's like, wow, that's a sad story. And they give you, like, a few moments to really reflect on how bad that was. But then, like, in this one, the biggest sad moment happened, and then they're immediately working on shooting guns.
Yeah, it doesn't seem super huge.
Yeah, it's like the biggest moment ended up being like, suck it up. Alright, we're on. So, overall, I'm giving it like a C. I'm
C even.
Sitting right on C.
Yeah.
And it's like, maybe wait for it to go on Netflix or Redbox.
If you're not like a complete movie person, gotta see everything.
Yeah.
You may want to wait for that.
There wasn't enough visual effects to say, oh yeah, go see it just for the visual effects in theaters.
It does look good.
Yeah. It doesn't look bad, yeah.
It's well made. It does have that merit, but that's most movies nowadays anyway.
Yeah. And it's like, it has cool gun moments, but it's not like enough to be called a gun porn.
Yeah.
It's like...
It's more like a reload porn.
Yeah, that's true. So, overall, a C. I'd say wait for Netflix or Redbox, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And, but if you're like a really big fan, maybe you'll be let down. Like, that's kind of...
Yeah, that's true. If you're hoping for a grand scale, major...
If you're like really into the Dark Tower, you might end up being disappointed.
Yeah.
The performances were good, though. Like, so there was that. It's not like it was put down by bad acting. It was really pacing was the issue, in my opinion.
Right. Only some of the side characters had bad acting.
Oh yeah, there was a couple, but that I never really count
it's
that.
like one-liners each that are just like shitty.
Like they're just there for a brief second or so.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, the kid didn't do a bad job. It wasn't like, oh, this is a shitty kid, and then it wasn't like, it's Idris Elba and Matthew McConaughey. Both of them were fantastic. Yeah. Like there's, I mean, this is Matthew McConaughey being a bad guy though, so that was interesting. A bit. Like I'm not used to that.
I'm not dissuaded from checking out the source material now.
Yeah.
I'm not dissuaded.
I would definitely still go... Yeah, like, it makes me want to actually read the book instead. Be like, that's probably better.
Yeah, that's a good sign that it's not bad.
Yeah.
It's just not
it didn't put me off the series or anything, so... That's our review of The Dark Tower.
And that's all I got to say about that.
Yeah. Hope you enjoyed the review, and if you watch the movie, if you watch the movie, go and leave your comments down below and let us know what you thought as well. So, I guess see you later. I'm Connor. That's Miguel. And we'll see you in the next one.
What's up, guys? Connor here with a quick message from one of our sponsors. If you're a fan of anime, cults, the Illuminati, hentai, or maybe you just like cool, fun, and interesting t-shirts, check out Dark Matter Clothing. They have a neat selection of designs, and if you use the promo code UberCrit, then you'll get 5% off your purchase. Check out the link below for more details.